Hey, Max here. Time for a Grace reaction. This, I guess, qualifies for Scoop Wars. She is really salty that James Gunn isn't going to her to release info to the public. He doesn't need Grace to spill the tea. He'll do it himself.
Warning, this video contains rumors, speculation, strong opinions,
Okay, let's get right into it here. I've seen clips from this. I saw other people covering it. I can't let other people cover Grace and not get a word in. Come on. I'm an OG Grace fan, even though she blocked me. I still think she does great work. She just won't admit when she's wrong. She won't admit when she's wrong, and she gets a little too superficial with her criticism. You know, she gets some stuff wrong. I've become less of a fan, I'll have to admit, since I've been covering her bullshit the last couple years. It's kind of, it makes you feel the longer you do this game, some people lose their way. I think Grace has lost her way. Let's see how much she complains about James Gunn not giving this info to a scooper and going to himself. Okay. And she's been doing a lot of these live streams.
Hi, everybody.
Lately.
Happy Tuesday. It's voting day. It's
Happy
voting day.
Tuesday,
Hope everybody's
Grace.
gone and voted. Oh, Ben, you just got your 1-year badge. Congratulations. It's so nice to see everybody. This is a late stream. Oh, look at Dancing Dog giving out some memberships. That's so kind of you. Welcome back, Sky. That's a nice picture. Hey, Ryan, thanks for joining.
Come on, it's right off the bat. I'm not watching this whole thing.
Yes. So today was election day here in the United States. I actually voted on Saturday. I voted early. Yeah, it's Ponytail Grace today. That I'm wearing a ponytail today because I have a new. I filmed my Black Panther 2 spoiler review earlier today, and I have a new shirt on which required a ponytail. You're in Paris, Ulk. Oh, I'm very jealous. Ben, that's very sweet of you. So I filmed my Black Panther 2 review earlier today, and then my father wanted to go and vote. He wanted to go vote. He wanted me to keep company. So I went with my dad to vote, and so I got to experience voting day anyway. Here in the United States, who here has voted? Who here went to the polls? Whoever you voted for, is up to you. Obviously, it's your own personal business.
Thank you.
Hey, Shemmy.
Thank you for letting us know.
Hey, Maria,
we appreciate that,
back.
Grace. Come on, get to the
Republic.
Jason.
Yes, my peoples. I have relatives from the Czech
Get
Republic.
to James Gunn and Jason Moe.
Look at all these voters. Democracy in action, baby.
I should have skipped ahead to find out
where she turned out by the end of the day.
Yeah, we will.
A late night, probably. It might even not be settled today because now everybody likes. The cool thing to do apparently is to contest elections. So we'll see.
What?
We'll see what happens.
What is she saying?
Hey, Sam Robinson, thanks for joining. Yes, we have 3 really great stories to discuss today, and then of course, as always, you can ask me anything you would like for the final 10 minutes of the stream. All right, so let's get started. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining me.
You blocked my pal Isaac today.
All right, so story number 1.
Boop.
Where'd it go? There it goes.
Boop.
Boop. Oh, look, I covered up the thing that I want to show you. Hold on. Ridiculousness. There we go. There we go. There we go. I wonder if everybody who goes on Mastodon gets these ridiculous cat ears on their logo. Know me likey. Know me likey.
What?
All right, so this is a very interesting developing story. All right? All right, so yesterday, Jason Momoa went on Instagram. Yeah. Jason can't keep a secret, Momoa.
What? She doesn't. What is she talking about? Can't keep a secret. It's so. They want Momoa to promote this. What do you mean can't keep it? She's got a screw loose. They obviously Jason obviously had the okay of Warner Brothers Studios, especially since Gunn's now in charge, Gunn with Safran and Zaslav, to promote, to get buzz, because we've been talking about DC for the last couple of weeks, and that's great. That is the difference. Marvel is not dominating the news cycle. DC has been the last couple of weeks, and that's amazing.
He kind of kept a secret. He went on Instagram and he was like, I have something so exciting to tell you, but I cannot tell you. I hope I can tell you soon. I'm so excited. So he was like, everybody was like, what's he talking about?
What is she even talking about? That's projection. Much can't keep a secret. If she knows anything, she's going to spill the tea. Who is she to judge?
What's this big news? A couple of people came up with the theory that Andy Muschietti would be directing Justice League 2. Looked into it. I hear that is not the case.
Oh, she's saying her sources. I guess this is an episode of Scoop Wars. She's saying her sources are stating that Muschietti is not doing Justice League 2. Maybe he really just wants to stay in the Flash universe. Maybe the Flash is so good that he wants to just develop that part of the DC Studios future Flash. I don't know.
I hear that he is not Andy Muschietti. And, some people who I know in the industry pointed out that Andy Muschietti is still going to be working very hard on The Flash, and The Flash hasn't even come out yet. So it would be very hard for him to take on a project like that. And then maybe because Jason Momoa, just couldn't help himself. I always feel Jason Momoa comes across less as a professional and more as someone who won a contest, which I think is part of...
What the fuck is her problem? What is her problem with people having joy? Who could have any criticism of Jason Momoa? He's awesome. He's a man's man. Amazing personality. One of the things that gets people excited still about the DC property. And one of the movies he heads up got to $1 billion. And that's a lot based off the charisma that he has. He is an asset. What the hell? She is very overly critical of other people, but will not accept criticism herself.
His charm, but I also think it limits as to what he can do.
What?
But anyway, maybe because of that, James Gunn went on Mastodon. He signed up for the competing Twitter service, social media. Mastodon sounds inappropriate to me. I'm like,
what? I need to, maybe I'll do the thumbnail with this. I don't. Oh, this is why people can't stand you, Grace. Some weird shit. Inappropriate social media platform called Mastodon. Oh my God.
what does anyone know what Mastodon stands for? I haven't Googled it. I'm afraid to, quite frankly.
What? She doesn't know what it stands for, but it's inappropriate. Fucking hell. It just sounds inappropriate.
But I'm just like, I'm not loving it. I did download the app. Hey, Chad. Oh, you're in Mexico, CJ? Where's your dog Marvel? Is he with you? But yeah, so anyway, I did go on there. I did go on to Mastodon, and I was like,
Mastodon,
they were like, what category
is
do you
a
want to
large
be in?
extinct
like,
animal like mammal.
Yeah. Hey, Domino. I mean, if we're not having like a whole conversation,
what is it in the Urban Dictionary? Let me see.
I don't care about it. I don't want to go off and have little group chats. I'm not interested in that at all.
I was checking.
I
was checking just to see, like, is there any like Urban Dictionary something I don't know about Mastodon? No, it just basically says a distant relative of the woolly mammoth. Oh, there is something. Oh, wow. Okay, there are some Urban Dictionary stuff. stuff about little. Okay, I'm not even gonna share. There's yes, there is stuff about little people with large penises, and also All right, I'm not going to say the other thing. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Getting back to the video. Holy shit. Okay, maybe she was right there, but she didn't know ahead of time, though. She didn't know. Okay.
Tell you that it's not effective because James Gunn tweeted a picture of Lobo as his very first post on Mastodon. He said, "Glad to be here," and no one cared. Hey,
What do you mean no one cared?
Stone. It's not that no one cared. It's that nobody knew about it. It took forever. It took absolutely forever for that news to trickle over to Twitter. If James Gunn had tweeted a picture of Lobo on Twitter, even on election day,
maybe he wants there you go again. Maybe he wants Mastodon to be like his Vero for, you know, Zack Snyder helped Vero pop. Maybe James Gunn wants to be the guy for Mastodon. Maybe he wants to buy Mastodon.
I think it would have gotten into the top 10. It's not even in the top 25. I mean, it's in my like trends for you section, but it's not trending at even top 25, which is ridiculous. Sean Penn giving his Oscar to the Ukraine in the top 25.
What you think? What's her point with this? If she delivered the tea, that it would trend more than James Gunn posting on Mastodon? Is she this arrogant and narcissistic that she thinks, oh, if you would have released it to the scooper, but no, James Gunn, you had to go to Mastodon where no one's at, and it took forever, and that's why it didn't trend. No, it didn't trend because Lobo isn't the most well-known character, but it's still exciting, you know. That's why it wasn't popping like if Superman or Batman's back, because it's Lobo, but it's still exciting news. And this is a pivotal moment. And I hope, listen, I like scoops, but would I rather cover scoopers or would I rather cover James Gunn? I would rather cover James Gunn. There's a revelation to you viewers that you get annoyed with me and watching scoops and stuff. I would rather not have to go to a go-between to get my info. I'd rather get it from the man himself in charge. And I want him to debunk shit too.
Thank you, Akana. Hey, Senor. Heck, welcome. So I feel like it is like James Gunn's Vero, Denzel.
Yes.
He is so single white femaling Zack Snyder. Oh, I'm going to get myself in trouble. I can't help myself. And I didn't do it. I didn't do it. That's pretty funny. All right. So anyway, yeah, it is his Vero. And he's handling himself just like Scott Snyder, going on like, you know, so let's talk about that. Like, is James Gunn going to break his own news stories? That's really a weird situation, right?
Weird for you. Why is it weird? It's great. It's great. Don't have to go to use social media influencers. I'm a social media influencer, but I want to go to the people directly. I don't want to have to kiss ass to, you know, people, to get the inside. I don't need to get the inside track. If it comes to me, you know, I've gone back and forth on this. I really don't want to search out access. If access happens to come to me, if it's a situation where I really want to cover the topic, maybe I'll consider it. Just like the antagonist came up. That's a great opportunity for me and people to have a connection there to someone that's going to have a potential new superhero series. And I really want to read the comic. I'm going to give all the disclaimers, but I'm not going to search out lots of stuff.
Right now, James Gunn has a very unique relationship with scoopers. He is he's the only creative who likes to pick fights with scoopers.
Why does it have to be this? This is Grace Randolph exposed. Correcting her info is picking a fight. Do you know how many fights that she's picked with Jessica Chastain, you know, dogging on Henry Cavill, talking about James Gunn, how it's inappropriate for him to cast his love interest in the show after the end of Me Too. Very warped mind. And this really exposes her thinking that she thinks people that want to debate her on a topic are picking a fight. She is extremely fragile. This is the snowflake that you're talking about. This is very, very weak sauce, Grace. Absolutely weak sauce.
And go and like say that things aren't true. Even things, by the way, he has a reputation among scoopers for saying things that once were true, but the way the project developed no longer was the case, is not true. And you'll notice as a result of that, no one covers really any of his projects anymore because they don't want to deal with that on Twitter. So you don't see a lot of scoops about any of his projects. And that's always a bad thing because
other people are covering scoops. No one got as much shade as you did, acting like everyone is you. You're the one that criticized by multiple people at DC for getting things wrong. And so far as I could tell, you're the only one that Gunn has called out. So maybe you're afraid and you're projecting your fear because you don't want to be wrong or don't want to at least not admit that you're wrong onto others. Other people are not afraid. I watched Matt Jarbo's live stream earlier. People are like, I'm going to cover Gunn scoops in DC. It's just, you do not like any pushback whatsoever. And to be at the position you are with the sub count you are, unfortunately, the bigs are very fragile here on YouTube. I'll tell you that. The bigs are extremely fragile, egomaniacs, narcissistic, and do not like any pushback whatsoever, and a lot of projection.
So if you don't have that speculation, it cuts down chatter on the projects. So you don't want to do that, but he does it.
The chatter was fine. Look at all the stuff that we covered the last 2 days, and we didn't have to go through Grace until now, until her complaining. We didn't have to go through Mikey Sutton or so. Absolutely brilliant. Give me more this way. Is this the end of a scooper era? I hope so. I hope so. I could still discover this stuff directly from the source. The source makes themselves freely available, speaks to the public. Beautiful thing. Why are you just don't, this is where Access Media also gets criticized. She wants to be the inside route. She doesn't like you going directly to the public. No one had any issues talking about Lobo or Jason Momoa and what this means for the future. It just meant that everyone got to talk about it at the same time and you didn't get your heads up. That's why you're salty. Salty ass.
He does it. He's very aggressive about it. And, it might become a situation where he drops his own scoops all the time.
Yes.
And then he decides, and then we all have to just do reactionary reporting. I'm not doing that. I'm still doing scoops, as you know.
Oh, see? See, she is better than reactionary reporting. I'm not doing that. Wow. There you go. There's the truth. Let me rewind that a second here.
Very aggressive about it. And, it might become a situation where he drops his own scoops all the time. And then he decides, and then we all have to just do reactionary reporting. I'm not doing that. I'm still doing scoops, as you know. But I think it would be a weird space if nobody had scoops on DC and then James Gunn was just like his own scooper and then everybody just reacted to his own scoops.
What exactly? What is so relevant and necessary to Grace knowing first? Except your access. Selfish douche. I'm sorry. Selfish. What is so prolific about what she adds to time for some tea? Tea time. What is so prolific about that? She doesn't want you to know. She wants to get the inside route, and she's salty. This is extremely pathetic. This is a lot of coping for what's happening with DC, and it's a beautiful thing. And I hope you enjoy it too. And honestly, I know a lot of my friends don't like scoops, but this would solve a lot of the issues that you have with someone so accessible to the fandom and to the consumer.
And there were never any theories about it. I mean, it's fine.
How did that she is so full of shit right here. I had everyone thought my theory was shit, but I had a theory. How does this stop people from discussing theories? Wow, I only saw a clip out of this. This is a pretty hardcore cope.
Wants to be part of the conversation. I think that's totally cool. But at the same time, I think it really affects the conversation around DC. And I got to tell you, it makes him really the face of DC, which Warner Brothers is going to have to decide if they want that to be the case. Kevin Feige has never, ever teased anything. He's never done that.
And I like this better. I am all for this. I think this is better than Feige. It just that he has to deliver too, though.
On a red carpet and be like, maybe, I don't know, you'll have to stay tuned. Kevin Feige breaks news, but he breaks news at presentations. So it's a very different approach. It could be a brilliant approach. Let's see. I think
he's actually taking a little bit of the Zack Snyder method, and he's using Momoa too. Momoa was there the whole time.
It didn't go very well out of the gate because he decided to do it on Mastodon, and also because I don't think anybody really wants a Lobo movie, to be honest with you. We'll talk about that
for yourself
in a second. But it is a very, very different approach. It's kind of exactly what I think we all expected James Gunn to do. Like we were like, will he really be an executive and go behind the scenes? No, and he's not doing that. He has a picture of himself holding up a Peacemaker mug, so he's promoting his own show. Oh, it's so crazy. When you're an executive, you're supposed to be supporting the whole brand.
Oh, come on. She is such a nitpicker. He is having fun. It's a joke that he's got. You have your stupid emoji mugs. You have boop. Who cares? Oh, my dear Lord. What a fucking Karen. I don't know if I could finish this reaction. I don't know. She's upset because he has a Peacemaker mug.
But I mean, maybe that's all that really exists in his brand right now. So let's see.
What? Oh,
thank you, John. That's
I gotta stop this to get the.
All right, so let's talk about Lobo. All right, so to me, probably Jason Momoa is a pretty good. I think he and James Gunn probably get along pretty well because Jason Momoa showed up for the Peacemaker finale. Ezra Miller ran in there at the last minute, but of course, he's not going to want to do anything with Ezra Miller because Ezra Miller is having huge problems. I did not like the joke about Aquaman having sex with fish. But to be fair, Harley Quinn makes jokes about Batman having sex with bats. So I guess James Gunn was for some reason, it doesn't bother me on the Harley Quinn show because that's something Harley Quinn would say.
I wonder why, Grace. I think the audience, I think because I'm not against feminists. She's a hardcore feminist that also jumps the shark on other ladies. Do you like my background? She does. She very harsh.
But I guess when all the characters are doing it, it bothers me. I don't know. I did not like that joke at the expense of the Justice League. I guess it's one thing for Harley Quinn to take pot shots at Batman, and also that's the tone of that show. But I feel like the Justice League needs to be a little bit more respected. That's right. Well, Ryan, the Deep actually does have sex with fish, though.
Yeah, he does.
So he can't get upset because that's actually true and hilarious, by the way. Very funny stuff on The Boys. They sent me screeners, by the way. I vote for Critics' Choice for TV and movies now.
Wait a second. She's okay with it on The Boys, but not the Justice League. Okay.
They sent me The Boys screeners, and I was like,
she's okay with them just suggesting and making a joke, but when they actually showed on The Boys, that's good because they said her screeners. Is that? Am I interpreting that? Am I interpreting that wrong? I used the wrong word there. Interpreting that wrong. That even the suggestion of a joke like that is too much for her. But actually showing the Deep having sex with a squid, that's funny. Okay, weird, inconsistent criticism there.
I've already watched that. It was amazing. But I think I think The Boys, I hope it gets some more awards recognition, the better it gets and the more aggressive it gets. Trisha, do you think Kevin Feige will give James Gunn advice? I do not, because they're now competing with each other. I think he won't be mean to him, but Kevin Feige is extremely aggressive. He's not going to let James Gunn, single white female him. Stephen Turner says, is it Lobo versus Aquaman, or is he not Aquaman anymore? Good question. Let's discuss. All right, so here's the question. Can Jason Momoa, by the way, Jason Momoa would be an amazing Lobo. Who's Lobo? He's basically alien Jason Momoa.
Okay, now I have to say, all my friends, he would make an amazing Lobo. And let's see what Grace has to say. Now you're talking, Grace.
If you were to tell me that Lobo was based on Jason Momoa, even though he was created, I think before Jason Momoa was born, or at least when they were both children, I would believe it. They're that similar. It's that ridiculous. Jason Momoa would not need to act at all. Lobo would tackle people on the red carpet, hop up on the stage at Comic-Con.
Yes.
He's exactly the character. And he's often talked about wanting to be Lobo because he's basically is Lobo already. Now, can he do both? Can he do both? Was Lobo cloned from Aquaman? Now, some of you are guessing maybe he's not going to be Aquaman anymore. Maybe they are going to reboot the Justice League, which would be interesting. I've said that I thought that maybe they should do that. And maybe they're like, don't worry, Jason Momoa, you're not fired. Although here's what I would tell you. There's no way a Lobo movie would make $1 billion, whereas Aquaman did. So I'd be like, I don't know about that. Maybe he'll
depends on execution.
Just be Lobo on Peacemaker season 2. I could see that. Or maybe he'll get an HBO Max special. Or maybe Jason Momoa isn't excited about Lobo at all. Maybe it's something else. But let's just see. It seems it's very interesting. Hey, T3074.
So far, she's proved herself completely wrong here because she's had so much to discuss. It's just that she has to discuss it at the same time as the commoners, the common movie talk people so far.
We'll see what it is. But to me, how is this any different from when Shaq played Steel? Remember that?
What?
This to me feels like really low, like really low bar. Like it would be nuts if that would be the first thing that the new DC studios announced. They were like, oh, we're going to make a Lobo movie or show. And everybody would be like, at the one hand, what were we expecting? I mean, that's exactly something that James Gunn would do. I mean, Jason Momoa is a very James Gunn kind of talent, and that's a very James Gunn type of character. But I don't think it's anything that anybody wanted. I said Steel. Didn't I say Shaq was Steel? Chris Diaz says, is it a Marvel DC crossover possible? Well, I talked about that, and I felt like I thought that, if anyone could do it, it would be James Gunn. Yeah, hey, Eddie. But let's see. I mean, I really have no interest in a Lobo project, and I think that a Lobo project would have. Well, I think there is a small group of people who would lose their minds, but it's emphasis on small. So, I mean, it's really weird to think that that's what he would maybe do out of the gate.
Well, in Superman, it would be pretty cool. Pretty cool. I think that's where I'm going to end this. I've had enough. Grace, I've had enough reacting to Grace tonight. I got to get to bed. Tell me your thoughts. I think she is coping hard. I think it's a cool announcement. It's just not an A-tier character yet. But do you know, trust in Gunn, because he made Guardians of the Galaxy a top-tier property, and then he also made Peacemaker a top-tier property. And you would not have got that without Gunn. And if there's a character that James Gunn could really revamp, take to the next level, I think it would be Lobo. And I think Jason Momoa or Dave Bautista would both be great choices. And tell me again what you think of getting your info directly from the source instead of going through bullshit scoopers. Are they really that prolific? Do they really add that much more to the conversation that we can't just discuss? Like, what's she doing in Mikey and Sil? They're just relaying information. They're not that really important. This stuff happens without them. That's my quick thoughts. Hope you enjoyed the reaction. Remember to smash the like button, subscribe, comment below, let me know, and I'll see you next time.